but yeah, that's one thing I also wanted to share because I just feel like you can't go to Mercedes and say, hey man, y'all Mercedes is just too high. You got to make them affordable for everybody. Or Rolls Royce.
Or Rolls Royce. You can't go in there and say, hey, your car is too much. You know what I'm saying? You can't even
Nobody
go
is
into
doing
McDonald's
with
and
Gucci.
talk them off their prices.
Nobody is doing
Go
that with
ahead, bro.
Gucci. Nobody is doing that with Fendi, and they're running out, and we spend the most money on it.
That's a fact. No. And I think you make a valid point because we shouldn't undercut ourselves on our quality. If we know that we producing something at a high value, we should expect the dollar to match that when it comes to a product that we sell. We do have a tendency in our community to try to sell it at the lowest price point because we want just to sell, but the people don't appreciate that. Like
No,
that's not gonna make a customer like a repeat customer because it's cheap. But those people, they value expensive things, like you just said. There's a person who probably wouldn't pay $10 for a lemonade, but they will pay $300 for a belt that just got a couple of letters on it. You
yeah,
know what I mean? $500 for a belt because it just has a buckle that has a certain thing on it. So we know that people will put money into that's what we always need to go for. And sometimes you got to think about it. Whenever there always been a shutdown, think about this. All the times that stores have closed down, you've never heard of a Gucci store closing down. You've never heard of a Louis Vuitton store closing down.
not
Even
one.
during the pandemic, yeah, they wasn't open, right? They wasn't open, but where did you hear about them having to close their doors because they wasn't getting business? Never. They could
Not
sell
never.
three pocketbooks a month and pay for everybody, the building. I mean, maybe not three, but what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? Like you've never heard that, and why? Like that's the most expensive stuff that people really don't need. But when it came down to certain grocery stores, they were closing. Like how a grocery store closed before Louis Vuitton or a Gucci store? When did you hear about the Rolex store closing down? You never heard of that, but you heard of a Food Line, a Publix, a Kroger. They got rid of them shits, yo. Like grocery stores had to get up out of here during the pandemic, but not them. So that goes to show that people be paying like thousands upon thousands of X on top of whatever that stuff costs in order for them to feel like somebody.
And let me just add on to this. None of these companies that are we run out and put our money into, they're not giving back to anything. No black military force, no black power movements, no opening up no grocery stores in our communities, not trying to give some proceeds to black farmers.
Right.
But guess what? That $10 that when you buy this, a proceed goes to nonprofit organizations that do patrolling in the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Money that goes towards black farmers to start teaching other black people from inner cities how to farm.
Ah,
Uh,
gotcha.
you know, uh, I'm in the movement. I used to be a New Black Panther Party, but I'm a nationwide freedom fighter now, and I believe that we are the only people who really don't have any type of military force to back us when things do happen. And I do believe in 2024 something is going to happen in this country, and all of these women who don't have men have no one to protect them and their children, and that's a problem. We don't have enough men to even stand up in our communities to patrol our neighborhoods to put an added layer of security in our neighborhoods.
Nah,
And the
you're right.
people who will protect our people, who will get on the front line, guess
Uh oh.
Guess what?
You
Those
can't.
people,
who
I,
it
Hold
should
on.
be.
Yeah. Go ahead, B. Those people on the front line. Go ahead.
Those people on the front lines have to come out of their own pocket to help protect those people. And that's
Right.
bogus. Every one of us have a responsibility to give some type of money to somebody who's going to be out there on the front line if you're not.
Nah, that's
I'm just doing my part and giving money from my proceeds, my personal proceeds, to go towards that because we don't have that. We got to do more of things that we don't have.
No, 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 no. That's dope. No, and that makes a lot of sense too, for your proceeds to go to that. Even if we could figure out ways that we could, you know, get into the land and get farming. I don't know where you got, if you guys got your lemons or if y'all fresh, pressing your lemons, but that's another thing too that makes sense, in the sense of knowing that, now we know a person that has a product that they're pushing. Now we know that there's, because that's the one thing that we don't know. We know the brand name, but very seldom do we know the brand owner. And
Don't
a
know
lot of
what they do.
yeah, or what they do. But we like the product. But the product is not even made by them. The product is just owned by them. That
Exactly.
makes it different. And being that you said, I want to get a little bit into about the Nationwide Freedom Fighter too. I want to touch on that a little bit too. But before we
Hmm.
get there, I want to stay right here.